Well, it's so nice to see everybody and be together on this cold winter day. My heart is warming. So, so I thought what we could do today is we can do a little bit of a check-in, see how, oh, and somebody wants me to post the link that was up on the chant. So let me find that for you. And it's called OZ, and we will do more of OZ today. We'll talk more about it and we'll actually chant it together. But here's the link for everybody to the chant. I'm just putting it in the chat. It's called OZ by Rabbi Shefa Gold. So, so in terms of a plan for our hour today, what I thought we could do is just do a little bit of a check-in, see how everybody's feeling. I know there's a lot going on, so whoever wants to share can share a couple of words, just checking in with yourself and see how we're doing in body, mind, and spirit. And we're here in a very supportive circle. Just really support one another in our practice and in our life. So we can either share in the chat or you can feel free to unmute yourself and share. And then we'll do a little bit of chanting, and we'll talk a little bit about this this chant OZ and what it means and how it compares to mindfulness practice in secular and the Jewish perspective about it. And then we're going to move to, Miriam's going to offer a beautiful meditation called Hineni. So she'll explain that and lead it for us. And then I can also share on the screen a little bit about it. And then, oh, and before that, we'll do a little bit of movement and breath work just to settle in. And then we'll have some time for discussion at the end, maybe a little bit of a Hesed, loving kindness practice to end. Does that sound like a good plan? Great. So does anyone want to share a little bit about how they're doing? What, maybe a word or two around how you're feeling this morning?
Okay, if nobody's saying anything, I'm going to say that I meditate every morning because I had a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury, and then 2 concussions over 3 years. So I must, it's my only medication that I take. So I always, since you, Paula, I wonder, well, should I do my meditation this morning? Because I'm going to do Paula's mindfulness. And last time I didn't, but this time I had time and I said, I'll do it. So I'm coming kind of in a great mood because I guess there's not enough meditation. There's not too much. There's never too much.
Thank you, Shirley. Yeah, I feel the same. The more we can drop, I see it as like dropping into the depths of the ocean, right? So the more we can do it, the less we are shaken by the waves. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else?
Good morning.
Yeah. Hi,
I'd just
good morning.
like to briefly say that so I'm retired and I've got open space in my life, and I have recovered from some, I guess, physical issues, which kind of took me away from positive activities for a fair chunk during the pandemic. And so I've started the new year with really a commitment to do positive things and to break my ties with social media, which have taken too much of control over my life. So I've resumed doing yoga again, and I saw this and I thought this would be a very useful piece in terms of my new agenda for myself.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks for sharing. So happy to support your journey, you know, and support each other.
I wanted to just comment on the chant, Paula. It seems these days we're waiting. A lot of time is spent waiting. And sometimes the wait time is frustrating. And I find with the chanting, it brings you to a different level. and the wait doesn't seem so long, and you feel refreshed after the chant. So thank you for that one.
Thank you, Miriam. Yes, I found the same. I found that the chanting is very healing during these times that we know we are already so inside of ourselves already in our houses and in the winter and in the lockdown and everything. So the chant almost allows us to continue to express and open, right? And whether we do it, we can do it out loud, or even if we do it mentally, you know, there's something about it that it's like, yes, I can continue to be free and continue to express. So we'll explore that more. Thank you. Any other thoughts?
I just wanted to add, in hearing the Oziv Azimrat, the chant this morning, it brought a smile to my face, because before COVID, I used to belong to a fitness club, and I would do aquafit exercises, but I would do them on my own because I'd done them for years. I wasn't always in a class. And that chant is often what started our Shabbat service mornings before the service started. And automatically, when I would get into the swimming pool to do my exercises, I would chant that to myself while I was doing my aquafit exercises. And I found that brought my exercises to a whole different level as I chanted that. It was interesting. That was automatically the song that came to mind while I found I was more energetic doing my exercises, and spiritually it just lifted me while I did my exercises. And I haven't sung in a long time because with COVID, I've not been in the pool, and it just brought such a smile to my face when I was hearing it this morning. So thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you use that in the session this morning.
Amazing, Susan. I'm so happy to hear that. And that makes sense. So maybe we can move now to actually learning a little bit about the chant and doing it together. So I'm going to share my screen. And here you can see a little bit about the chant. And I learned this recently because I did a month-long course with Rabbi Shefa where we did these chants. And what we did is we would pick one for a week and we would learn it. And then we would sorry, I'm just admitting people. We would just let it do its thing because we can't always understand why it works. There's something about it that it goes deep into our subconscious and it starts to feel really healing. So this one, OZ, is very interesting because it's a balance. So it balances our own strength, our own will and effort as human beings with surrender. So it lets us know that we're actually co-creating in every moment. And during these hard times, or really when we're trying to do anything, really during hard times or during good times, it can remind us if we're feeling like we don't have strength, you know, and that we can't do it on our own, it can lift us up and remind us that we're not alone, right? That there's life force, there's something around that can help us move forward in whatever it is that we're doing. And the other thing it does is it lets us know that there's a role for us. So if we're feeling like powerless, you know, over situations, then it reminds us that we also have strength and we also have will, and that our effort and our intention really makes a difference. So I found it really helpful, and I hope you do too. And what we can do is we can chant it together. So unfortunately, because we're on Zoom and there's different echoes, then we'll stay muted. I'll chant it for you as best as I can. And I'll try to show you kind of how the melody goes. And we'll chant it together for just a few minutes. And then after the chant, Then we'll have a minute or two of silence. And what Rabbi Shefa says, that the silence after the chant is really important, because that's when we receive the benefits of the chant. And then one last thing about chanting that I'll mention is that it's just inherently very balancing for our nervous system. So now that, you know, a lot of our nervous systems are just really revved up with all the change and uncertainty, there's something that the chant does to the vagus nerve that can be really healing. So let's try it together, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Ozi Bezimratyam Vahili Leshua. 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 So you can feel free to close your eyes and just feel both aspects of yourself. Can you notice your strengths? If you feel you have no strength, what do you feel? Can you surrender and connect with the strength of life, the heart beating, the breath flowing in and out? Dropping into a broader presence that supports us, strengthens us. And noticing also the cycle of the breath. how with each cycle, we're both giving and receiving. So on the inhale, bringing in the strength of life, of nature, of God into your hearts. And on the exhale, releasing anything that's blocking you from feeling your own strength and wisdom. So bringing in strength on the inhale and letting go of anything you don't need, any holding or tension or old habits or beliefs. As we move into a little bit of a movement and breath practice. So starting by taking your arms up overhead. Again, you can keep your eyes closed or feel free to open. Give yourself a big stretch. So notice the strength of your body as you reach the palms up towards the sky. And on the exhale, drop the shoulders down. So again, balance, inhale, reach the heart up towards the ceiling or the sky. Exhale, drop the shoulders away from the ears. And two more, inhale, reach. Exhale, release the shoulders. And reach up. And this time, exhale the arms down. And you can feel free to stand for these exercises or to stay seated, whatever feels better for you. And we're going to inhale one arm up overhead for 1, 2, 3, all the way back for 4. And exhale the arm down for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Other side, inhale up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now diagonal, so reaching the arm out to the corner of the room, feeling the stretch in the front part of the chest, and exhale through the nose down, 2, 3, 4. Other side, diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back, 2, 3, 4, and shoulder height, 1, 2, 3, stretch, and back, 2, 3, 4, another side, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back, 2, 3, both arms together all the way up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale the arms down, 2, 3, both arms to the corners, 1, 2, 3, squeeze the shoulder blades and back, 2, 3, 4, and shoulder height open, 2, 3, 4, and back, 2. One more for the shoulders. This time, take one arm and follow the gaze of towards the fingertips all the way open on the inhale. So keep twisting the body to look at your hand and keep following the hand as you exhale across. So we're going into a twist. Keep looking at your hand as you touch your shoulder. Exhale. Inhale, open again. Keep following your hand all the way open. And exhale, drop the hand down. And other side. So we're going to lift and open on the inhale. Watch your hand. Keep following the hand all the way across as you touch your shoulder. And inhale. Keep looking at your hand. Long, slow inhale. And exhale, release. holding on to your shoulders. Take the elbows in towards you, touch or towards each other. And inhale to open, exhale down. And do a few of these on your own time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, beautiful. And if your mind is wandering, just bring it back to this theme of finding that balance between your own strength and the strength of the universe supporting you. And which one do you need more of today? And letting that go. And let's do a few just neck circles. So all the way around, just halfway, just noticing what's happening in your neck and shoulders today. And then maybe doing a slight pause on one side, a gentle stretch. And then the other way. Slowly going around. And release. And back to center. Slowly coming up. And now we're going to move into a breath practice. So again, it's going to be a balancing practice. So we're going to hold one hand on the upper belly and one hand on your low belly. So in general, when we inhale and hold after the inhale, that's energizing. So when you need more strength, you want to focus on inhale and hold after inhale. And when you need more surrender, when you feel like you're too tight and you're trying too hard, that's exhale and hold after the exhale. That is the surrender part of the breath cycle. So today we're going to do both. So we're going to inhale into the upper belly through the nose. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, the low belly comes in and up for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last two. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Letting the breath return to its natural rhythm. And you can drop your arms on your lap. And again, keeping your eyes either closed or slightly open with a soft gaze. We're going to check in now again and see how is your strength? How is your surrender? We're going to bring to mind anything, any challenge that you feel is keeping you from a sense of balance between these two aspects. From a sense of feeling connected and held and supported while still free. And bring that challenge to mind, and we're going to explore it in 3 aspects. So the first is, what do you see? So if you were to look in your mind's eye, a blank screen right at the forehead, what are the images that come up? We just observe any images. And if there are no images, you just notice rest, see rest, and you can label see if an image comes to mind. And then just drop your attention into that image for a few moments. And if there's no image, just see rest. See. So just see, we don't need to change anything, fix anything. We're just observing what is arising in our mind. What do we see? And now changing to hear. So you might have a lot of thoughts going on. And you allow those to be there and just, you could label here when the thoughts arise. And notice not so much the content, but the process. So you observe, hear space, which is around the ears and around the head and neck. And there might be lots of sound and talk. Or maybe there's no sound. Maybe there's no talk, and then you just hear rest. And if you like, you can label here, here. And then we're going to focus on feel in the body. So any sensations in the body, and this might be a little bit intense. So you might notice a tightening in the heart or the shoulders. There might be some pain. And we just notice that if there is unpleasant sensation in the body, and we label it feel. And if it gets too unpleasant, you can go to a different part of the body that maybe feels more neutral, like maybe the touch of your hips on your chair or your clothes on your skin. So just feel. So it turns out that any obstacle that we have in our mind is really made up of these 3 elements: see, hear, and feel. And we have the capacity to start to break them up a little bit. Just observe and notice what happens, how they begin to change and shift. And touching in with that part of yourself that can just watch the whole thing. That is what we surrender into. We surrender into the space that surrounds all our thoughts, our images, our body sensations. And we can reconnect with the breath. And with each exhale, just softening a little bit more into the space. And slowly you can start wiggling your fingers and your toes. If you like, give yourself another little stretch. And exhale. So any questions or thoughts about the chant, about the postures or the meditation at this point?
Usually the chant, when you say here, that's all I can do. It's in my head all the time. So that's my here.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. That's actually a practice. That's because you can do see, hear, feel, good. So you can see things that are pleasant. You can hear things that are pleasant, you know, and same with feel, like something comforting. So it can be really healing. So you hear the chant, you know, and it strengthens you. So there's a question that came in. Why would the universe support me? I am privileged and others have things much more difficult. And this can be a real challenge for a lot of us, right? When we see the suffering in the world. My experience has been that the more I can be with my own pain, as privileged as my pain may be, the more I can open my heart and then feel the pain of others. And that, you know, for some of us, the pain might come from physical, you know, missing physical material things like, you know, the homeless or not having freedom. For others of us, it might be from having things that look perfect in the outside, but then we feel bad on the inside about ourselves. And that, I think that pain of feeling that we don't have permission to be ourselves, the pain of feeling disconnected and alone and isolated can really be pretty awful, right? So, and I guess beyond the differences, you know, between us, we have this shared human condition, right? Like we're born, we live, we have moments maybe of pleasure and success. We have moments of failure and pain in whatever scale, depending on the life that we've been given. Just like, you know, some flowers are white and others are trees. And just like in nature, we have different incarnations, I guess. And we have that, and then we eventually get sick and we die. So we have this cycle. And that's something that we all share as human beings. So we can just be okay with our own incarnation, right? And whatever it is that we are going through. And somebody mentioned here to me as well that we have to also be aware of our guilt, you know, and as Jewish guilt, like, oh, we have to take care of everybody. And a lot of us, you know, we're sensitive people and we're caregivers, and sometimes we can give to the point where we deplete ourselves, right? And again, my own experience, I'm still exploring all of this. Like I've always said, this is really a collective of sharing experience, but the more I can accept and love myself, then the more energy I have to share with others in an authentic way. So I don't know if anybody else has thoughts around that question of how can we feel supported when others need support as well, or if you have any other thoughts, questions. Great question, thank you.
I was just going to comment on that because I think that's a really great point and certainly ties into the Jewish guilt, like you were saying. I think like coming from the mindset that there's enough to go around, like just like how like a mother of 10 children doesn't love, you know, one less than the other, like versus someone who only has two. It's like we can take care of ourselves and it doesn't deplete, it doesn't take away from other people who have less. It actually does the opposite, like what you were saying, like when our cups are full, then we have more to give. It's like the airplane analogy of putting on the mask first, the oxygen first.
Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful, Esther. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to add something, if I may, and that is, we say the ahavta l're'echa kamocha. You should love your friend or your neighbor as you love yourself. So the implication there is you must love yourself first, and then you're able to love others. So I think I love that analogy of the flight attendant that says, put your mask on yourself first, and then your child. You have to take care of yourself. If you don't, you cannot take care of anybody. So I don't think there's guilt there. I think that's just as it should be.
It's beautiful, Miriam. Thank you. So maybe it's a good opportunity now to move into the Hineni meditation, Miriam.
Okay. Thank you, Paula, and thank you for the opportunity of sharing this meditation, which I love very much. Many of us think of meditation as a Far Eastern practice. However, in our own Jewish tradition, we have many examples of its use. Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan of blessed memory was an early practitioner of the return to Jewish meditation, and he describes the Amidah, which is a core prayer in our services 3 times a day, that this was developed as a meditation. And the literal translation of Amidah, surely you may correct me if I'm wrong, comes from the root of the word la'amod, to stand, because we traditionally do this prayer standing.
Yes.
And it's also called the Shmona Esrei, which is the 18 blessings, although in fact there are now 19 blessings there, but we still call it the 18 blessings. And there's a ritual to this prayer. We stand, we're silent, we take, in the Ashkenazic tradition, we take 3 steps backwards, then take 3 steps forward. We bow 4 times during the prayer. And at the end of the prayer, we take 3 steps back. So there's a ritual to it that helps us as we meditate on this prayer. Later on, sections of the Mishnah were used to meditate, and also sections of the Kabbalah. And Rabbi Isaac Luria, known also as the Ari, used to use the Zohar as a source of material for meditation. When the Hasidic movement came along, the Baal Shem Tov encouraged people to go out into nature and meditate on a daily basis, as did his great-grandson, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. So in meditating, he felt that there was a way of communicating with God and also communicating with your own inner self. I chose Hineni today because it's such a powerful word. It's a contraction of 2 Hebrew words, hine and ani. Here I am. And it appears many times in the Torah, and I just want to mention 2 that stick out a lot in my mind. And the first one is when Abraham is about to sacrifice his son, and God calls him, and he responds, Hineni, as if God doesn't know where he is, but he answers, here I am. And later, when Moses encounters the burning bush, which calls him by name, he also responds, Hineni. So Hineni is more than just I'm here. It's I'm fully present in body, mind, and spirit. And as Paula mentioned earlier, these days, it's a challenge for many of us to be fully present. We have thoughts of lists, chores, things to remember. They all crowd our minds. And we're often trying to multitask. Our minds jump around in the past, go to the future, but seldom are focused in the present. So this beautiful word, Hineni, represents a centered state of being, a positive moment in which we're ready in body, mind, and spirit to open to the possibility of spiritual connection and to be fully present. And that's the kavanah, the intention of this meditation, to be fully present. So let's begin by sitting comfortably in your chair, feet on the ground, and closing your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale through your mouth, make a sound. Do this several times. Then settle into your ordinary breathing. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Now watch your breath. Notice how your chest expands and contracts, and how your body receives the breath and lets it go. As you do this, your mind will begin to quiet down, and you will start to relax. When you are ready, move your attention to the word Hineni, or if you wish, to the words, here I am. Hineni, here I am. Focus on Hineni. Repeat it silently to yourself. Hineni, here I am. Let the word become filled with your breath. Merge with it so that you experience being fully present. Hineni, here I am. Not thinking, not accomplishing, not doing, just being. Hineni, here I am, fully present, ready to receive in body, in heart, in mind, in spirit. Hineni, here I am. When your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, do not judge yourself. Simply notice where it has gone and return to Hineni. If you are distracted by the sounds around you, notice them and return to Hineni. Hineni, here I am. Slowly open your eyes and be present. And this beautiful meditation is by Dr. Nan Fink Geffen, who has written a beautiful book called Discovering Jewish Meditation. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Miriam. That was so beautiful. I loved it.
Thank
I know
you.
for me, I noticed I'm not here. I've been practicing this for so long. And it's like, here I am, but really, I should kind of be over there. It's crazy. It's hard to do, right? So simple, but so difficult. And also, for me, I noticed the tension in the body of wanting to go here and there. And then the Hineni reminds you that you can relax the body as well, right? That it's enough. It's enough. We're enough. Any other thoughts? And maybe while we share, I have I can share my screen, and I have a little bit of a writing on this that, again, if people wanted to have it, you can feel free to email it. Thank you, Miriam provided it. So you can email me and I can send it to you if you like. Any thoughts on the Hineni?
I find that outside of meditation, using it when listening to someone talk and kind of being in full surrender of Hineni, here I am fully present to listen to you, I undergo a transformation. It's like I am in a meditation. I fully hear what the person is saying, and yet I get an incredible benefit of also complete quiet. And my listening experience at the end of the listening is totally different than when I don't have this intention of Hineni. When I have this intention, it's wonderful listening to other people.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to try that with my kids. Here I am to really listen to them.
Yeah, especially with the kids.
Yeah.
So Noah, my grandson, who's 8, is going to Zoom school here, which ends up grade 3. So I have to do a lot of Hineni, and I have to report it works.
That's great. Thank you, Shirley.
Could I add a comment? Before I retired, I was a hospital chaplain, and my duties were to provide spiritual support to people in hospital primarily. And before I would enter a room, I would stop at the threshold and just think, Hineni, I'm here, I'm fully present. So that when I met the person on the other side of the threshold, I was not thinking about the person before or the person after, but only the person I was about to meet. And I found that that centered me.
That's beautiful. Any other questions, thoughts? Okay. Thanks so much, Miriam. I love that. I'm going to use that a lot this week. And that's something else you might want to think about. So as I mentioned, we're going to meet about once a month, but picking a practice that resonates for you. And I would say we're so overwhelmed already, just pick one. Like if you like the chant, or if you like the Hineni, or if you like the see, hear, feel, like pick one technique and then just try it, throughout the day, or it doesn't have to be long, like 5 minutes a day to just really try to dedicate a little bit of continuity. They say with mindfulness, it's more the habit. You're building a new habit in your mind. So you don't need to do long periods. Like if you have the opportunity and you want to, that's great. But just trying to remember to do little moments of mindfulness can be really powerful.
I have a question.
Sure.
Yesterday in shul and also today, and I don't know his name because you can Google it like Noah, my grandson, says, but what is the big guru of meditation passed away yesterday. And do you know his name? I don't even know
Yes.
And I didn't know about him.
Yeah, so his name is Thich Nhat Hanh.
Can you put that in the
Yes,
chat?
I'll write it here in the chat. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's his name is Thich Nhat Hanh. I put it here in the chat. And so he came from Vietnam. I believe he was a refugee, had a really, really, really hard life, and eventually established himself as a meditation teacher. And there were many, many monasteries that followed his teachings. And they're really quite beautiful. His books, there's a lot of teachings online. He said things like, one that was shared yesterday at the service, that when you're walking, walk as if your feet are kissing the earth, right? So he was all about, it's Hineni, right? Whatever we're doing, to be there for it. And he also talked about interconnection. The fact that when you're drinking, a cup of tea, you can think about all the people and all the beings and the plants that went into that tea, and you feel such gratitude and you feel such a sense of connection to just even thinking about that. And he also talked about birthdays. He called them continuation days, because of this idea that nothing's ever really born and nothing ever really dies, and that it's really just transformation, right? Like we're our parents, and we're, in a way, we were here in our parents, and then here we are, and then we'll be here in the people that we touch, and then the things that we do as things continue, and even in the earth, right? So yeah, I really recommend his teachings. There's also a beautiful chanting that's done by a teacher in Toronto who used to be a monastic in one of his monasteries, and she does a 15-minute chanting every day. So if you're interested in that, you can send me an email and I'll send you the link. So every day she does it at 6:45 and at 8:45 for just 15 minutes. And it's not Jewish, so it's it's Buddhist, but it's all very similar, right? It's about being present to the reality of the interconnection and the being and what we're all part of. So so she's really beautiful. And interestingly enough, I ran into her a couple of weeks ago on Zoom. Somebody connected us, and then I was doing his chanting and talking about this continuation day and stuff. And then he passed away yesterday at 95.
So Jim wanted to say something.
Yes, there's one other very brief one. What he said is, when he asked, when you look into a teacup, what do you see? And he said, when he looks into a teacup, he sees a cloud, i.e. the water that created the tea. And when he looks up to the sky, he doesn't see clouds.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And then I also heard another good one from him this morning, that most people ask what's wrong. And he said, what if we ask what's not wrong? What's not wrong? And then our life would be, slightly different. What's right? Yeah, we can ask what's right. What's going well? What's going well today? That's what I'm going to ask people. What's going well today?
Can I say something else?
Sure, yeah.
We have a refugee that we sponsored at Dar Noam, whose name is Amar, from Sudan to Israel and now to here. And what I read in the Israeli press, actually a long article. So Dr. Bernstein in Israel, who practices meditation, created a website for these refugees. It's called momentsofrefuge.com, momentsofrefuge.com, because what he found that most of what these refugees need is, of course, they need shelter and clothes and education and work, but he said before anything, they need meditation because they are so broken. So he created, and he has groups, there's pictures. This is a long article, but in Hebrew. So this Dr. Bernstein, who also teaches at Haifa, he does meditation with groups of these refugees. And they have the opportunity. And I told Amar, and I sent it to him, and I speak to him, who is now here. And he was very affected by his situation. momentsofrefuge.com, but I have not done the meditation. But think how, I was thinking, what do you need, Amar? Clothes, what do you need? And what I discovered that what he needs is meditation, really.
So beautiful. Thank you, Shirley. So we have a few minutes left. So just to close, I think it'll be nice if we can just bring into this beautiful circle we've created anyone that we want to bring compassion to, anyone, it could be ourselves or others. And you can maybe think in your heart somebody that you want to bring into the circle, or you could say the name out loud as well. I will say, Thich Nhat Hanh and all the refugees. You can bring into our circle anybody that you want to send compassion and love to, anybody that's suffering, maybe those who are sick, those who have been affected by COVID-19. Anyone else want to share? Or you can share in your heart as well who you want to bring into your circle. And then we can end with a meditation on chesed, loving kindness. So you can just feel free to, again, close your eyes or soften your gaze. And starting with ourselves, imagining yourself as a baby, small child, and sending yourself loving kindness. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live in peace. And then to our loved ones, near and far, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live in peace. And now sending out to those we may not know so well. The neutral person, the people at the grocery store, those we pass on the street every day who live the same complexity that we do in their minds and hearts. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live in peace. And bringing to mind those we might be having a hard time with, we might disagree with. Perhaps they've hurt us in some way, and in no way condoning a negative action, but connecting with the suffering that may have caused this act. With our shared humanness, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live in peace. And finally, all beings, big and small, human and non-human, all the planets, all the stars, the infinite space and time, all beings, all of creation. May we be safe. May we be healthy. May we be happy. And may we live in peace. And slowly you can start wiggling your toes and your fingers. Give yourself a nice stretch. Exhale, letting go. And so this is the end of the official session. So if you have to go, you can feel free to go. But if you do have some questions, I am happy to stay a little bit longer. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Paula. This was wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it, got a lot out of it. And I would love if the office says you can send out the recording, I would love to have the recording so I can go through the whole process again on my own. That would be great.
Amazing. Yeah, I will definitely do that. I'll find out.
This was wonderful. So you're planning to do it once a month, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Oh, and thank you, Miriam, for your input.
Yes.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Yes, wonderful.
Thank you. I just wonder if, will there be a schedule that could be sent out so we could plan our calendars around it?
Yes, that's a great idea. I will set out with the office because we want to try to do it when we can in person as well. For whoever wants to, we'll do both. So I'll get the rest of the dates maybe for the rest of the year and send it out
Awesome.
through the Darhe Noam newsletter. So somebody asked Esther, where can we find out about the monthly sessions? So you can email me at paula@livethepresent.ca if you're not on the Darhe Noam newsletter.
Livethepresent.ca. Okay.
Yeah, here, I'll put it here again. Paula@livethepresent.ca. It's on the Darhe Noam newsletter, but if you don't get those, because some people got here not through Darhe Noam, so we'll email that to you. And is Marilyn still here? Yes. So I wanted to address a question.
I am here, Paula.
Sorry. Okay, great. Because there's a really good question that came up, which is what about, we were talking about refugees and don't we need food and shelter and water before we can meditate? And it's a very good question because at times what we start to think about is our physical needs and the physical actions that we have to take in the world. And then when we hear about meditation, you know, it's like, well, but don't we have to do these things in the world first? This also comes up in, for example, when you do meditation at work and it's like a toxic workplace where people are working too much and, you know, so don't you have to change those conditions first before you know, do the meditation or the yoga? And I like to think of them as parallel tracks because while you're taking the actions that you need to take in the world to get the things that you need or that other people need, simultaneously, your mind is continuing, right? Like, so there's thoughts and there's sensations in the body and there's breath. So the equanimity today we talked about balance, right? Happens in the mind. And then we can decide, you know, what actions we take. And doing this work of balancing the mind can help us be better able to then be clear enough to decide, you know, what are the things that we need to do in the world that would be most helpful. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't know if anybody else has thoughts around that. Or any follow-up questions? Any other thoughts? Yeah, sorry, Fran, were you going to say something?
No, I just wanted to thank you. And when I was working at a hospital where there was a very big movement for mindfulness meditation for the staff, and exactly to help us between going into different rooms and to be present with our patients and how to cope with difficult situations. So, but now I've retired, it sort of has slipped away, but I'm glad to hear also about the Jewish factor because I'm, you know, more familiar with either the secular or from the Buddhist tradition. So it's very comforting to hear and to learn more, actually. So I appreciated that.
Awesome. I'm so glad you joined us. Thank you, Fran.
Okay. So this will continue monthly?
Yes.
That's a great idea. It's a very good idea.
Wonderful. I'm so glad
Okay.
you're enjoying it. Excellent. Any other thoughts, questions?
Goodbye.
All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone. And I will see you next month. So yes, so in terms of the date, it will be shared in the Darhe Noam newsletter and also through my newsletter. So you can email me as well if you would like to get that.
Paula, do you happen to know offhand now what next month's date will be? Just next month, so I can put on my calendar.
Yeah, let me check. I think I do have the email somewhere. Hold on. Let's see. A while ago, we decided on the dates. So I think it's February 20th. That's what I got. These are the dates that I got. I'll have to confirm them, but from when the room was available, it's February 20th, March 6th, April 3rd, and May 8th. Here, I'll put them in the chat, and hopefully those don't change. Here we go, paste.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely rest of the day. So great to see you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Paula. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miriam.
Love.
Bye.
Thank you.